two people, same age, same income, same $60,000 sitting in a savings account. One of them buys a rental property. The other puts every dollar into an S&P 500 index fund. 20 years later, those two decisions produced very different outcomes. And you might think you already know which one wins. But the full story is far more complicated than it seems. Because this decision isn't just about returns. It's about stress, patience, flexibility, and risk, and whether you can actually stick with the path you choose. In this video, we're running the real numbers. And by the end, you'll see this entire debate in a different light. Hey, I'm Larry, a semi-retired electrician who's figured out simple money systems that actually work. And stick around until the end. I've got a free gift for you that'll help you decide which is best for you. I've watched this exact debate play out in real life for over 20 years, with friends and people I've worked with taking completely different paths. And I've seen both sides work, and both sides fail. And in this video, we're breaking down exactly what happens when two ordinary people take two completely different approaches to building wealth over 20 years. Let's get into it. Meet Ryan and Sarah. Both are 30 years old. Both make around $65,000 a year. And both have been disciplined enough to save $60,000, which, at 30, is genuinely impressive. And they didn't come from wealthy families either. They just saved consistently and kept their lifestyle in check. Ryan has always believed in real estate. It's tangible, physical, something you can see and touch. His dad owned a rental property, and he watched it pay off. And real estate just makes sense to him. Rent coming in, equity building, inflation working in his favor. But Sarah sees it differently. She's watched the market for a few years. She understands compounding, and she doesn't want the headache of being a landlord. She'd rather put her money somewhere, let it work quietly in the background, and get on with her life. Both of them have done their homework, and both are making thoughtful decisions. Ryan puts his $60,000 into a rental property. Sarah puts her $60,000 into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. Same starting line, one decision, and 20 years of consequences. Let's start with Ryan. He finds a single-family home in a mid-sized city. The purchase price is $300,000. He puts his $60,000 down, exactly 20%, which means he avoids PMI entirely and locks in a reasonable rate on the mortgage. His loan is $240,000, and at today's rates, his monthly mortgage payment lands around $1,560. He rents the property for $2,000 a month, and on paper, he's cash flow positive from day one, about $440 a month before expenses. Year one is off to a great start, and Ryan feels good about his investment. But then the water heater fails, and the repair is $1,100. He wasn't expecting it, but he handles it, knowing it's part of the deal. Year two, his tenant moves out without 30 days' notice, and Ryan is unable to rent it out immediately. So there's 2 months of vacancy, $4,000 in lost rent, plus another $400 in cleaning and minor repairs to get it ready for the next tenant. Ryan is still ahead for the year, but not by much. Around year 3, he gets the tenant every landlord fears, the kind where late payments turn into no payments. And the eviction process drags out for months. By the end of it, Ryan's out about $6,500 in lost rent and legal fees. That moment is real. It's the moment a lot of landlords quietly consider selling. But Ryan doesn't. Instead, he hires a property manager to take some of the pressure off. The manager takes 8% of the rent every month, but Ryan decides his time and sanity are worth it. Ryan starts thinking differently about the property around this time. The mounting costs. The roof has maybe 12 years left on it. And the repairs can easily run $10,000. The furnace is original, probably 8 to 10 years of life remaining. and replacing it can easily cost $5,000. These aren't random surprises waiting to happen. They're scheduled costs, and most new landlords don't really budget for this stuff until it hits them. But Ryan's smart. He starts setting aside $100 a month into a separate account for future repairs. And it's money that disappears from his monthly cash flow. But when the furnace finally goes in year 9, he doesn't panic. By year 5, Ryan has built meaningful equity. The property has appreciated steadily, using a conservative 3.5% annual appreciation rate. And his mortgage balance is lower. His rent has climbed to around $2,400 a month. And after the property manager's cut, insurance, property taxes, and average maintenance, his actual net cash flow is somewhere between $200 and $300 a month. Not life-changing, but it's positive. What Ryan has going for him that doesn't show up in the monthly numbers is leverage. He used $60,000 to control a $300,000 asset, and that appreciation is on the full property value, not just his down payment. That multiplier is real, and it matters. But what Ryan doesn't always talk about are the phone calls, the midnight maintenance requests, and the year his property tax assessment jumped unexpectedly. And the fact that his money is locked in a physical asset he can't partially sell if life gets complicated. At year 10, his property is worth approximately $424,000. His remaining mortgage balance is around $206,000. His equity is roughly $218,000. In addition, he's collected net rent along the way, and after all costs, it totals around $60,000 over the decade. At year 10, the total wealth created from this investment is approximately $280,000. And at this point, Ryan is convinced real estate is crushing the stock market. But we'll get to year 20 in a little bit. Now let's see how Sarah is coming along. She opens a brokerage account, buys into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, and sets up automatic contributions of $300 a month from her paycheck. Then she simply lets it run on autopilot. Year 1, her account climbs to somewhere around $68,000. Nothing life-changing yet, but Sarah likes seeing the system working. And every month, the automatic contributions keep going in. Then, in year 2, the market drops. Not a little, a meaningful correction. Her account falls to somewhere around $50,000, and for a moment, a real moment, she questions everything. She texts a friend, and the friend tells her to sell. Lock in what you have left. Get out before it gets worse. But Sarah doesn't sell. She thinks about it, opening the app a few times a day, second-guessing herself every time the market news turns negative. And this is the part nobody puts in comparison videos. The doubt is real. The discipline required to stay invested is real. And by year 3, her portfolio has not only recovered, it has already surpassed her starting amount. And by year 5, she's sitting at approximately $130,000. This includes her ongoing contributions and the power of compounding growth. She's assuming an average annual return of 7%, which is a conservative real return, after inflation, for a long-term S&P 500 investment. Of course, some years are much higher and some are negative, but over time, it's the average that matters. And what Sarah has going for her is liquidity. If something happens, a job loss, a medical expense, a major life change, she can access that money. Not without consequence if markets are down, but the option exists. As for Ryan, he can't sell one bedroom of his house. He's locked in. Sarah also has no tenants, no maintenance calls, no eviction dealings. Her Saturday mornings are hers. But what Sarah's path doesn't give her is leverage. She's earning returns on her $60,000 and her contributions, but she's not controlling a $300,000 asset with $60,000. The math on appreciation doesn't work the same way. Sarah also has no physical asset, And in bad years, her account balance is simply a number on a screen that goes down. Some people can handle that. Some people genuinely cannot. And when they panic, they often make the wrong decision at the wrong time. But Sarah stays invested. And at year 10, her portfolio is approximately $190,000. No debt attached, no maintenance buffer required, no management fees. And unlike real estate equity, that money is liquid, accessible within days if she ever needed it. Ryan, on the other hand, has approximately $280,000 in real estate wealth, but most of it is tied up in the property, and there's still a substantial mortgage attached to it. At year 10, Ryan appears to be ahead, but year 20 is where the bigger trade-offs start to reveal themselves. So let's run this out to year 20, and with the same assumptions throughout. Ryan's property has appreciated at 3.5% annually from a purchase price of $300,000. It's now worth approximately $600,000. His mortgage is nearly paid off with a remaining balance of around $145,000. His equity is roughly $455,000. Add in 20 years of net cash flow after property management, taxes, insurance, vacancies, maintenance, and larger repair costs averaged out over time, and Ryan has collected approximately $150,000 in cumulative net rental income. Some years were excellent. Some years he barely broke even. But over 2 decades, the property consistently produced income while the equity continued growing. Between the equity he built and the cumulative rental income the property produced over 20 years, Ryan generated roughly $600,000 in total wealth from this investment. Now Sarah. Her portfolio at year 20, $60,000 initial investment, $300 monthly contributions, and a 7% average annual return lands her at approximately $400,000. So under these assumptions, Ryan comes out ahead financially in this scenario. But the math alone doesn't tell the whole story. 3.5% property appreciation is plausible, but it varies enormously by market. In some cities, Ryan would have done significantly better. In others, he would have barely kept pace with inflation. And the S&P 500's 7% real return is based on a 100-year historical average, so it also varies year to year, sometimes dramatically. But here's the factor most people overlook entirely. Ryan's $150,000 in cumulative rental income required ongoing involvement, even with a property manager. It demanded his attention, his emergency reserve, and his time. Those are real costs that never show up in the spreadsheet. Sarah's $400,000 required almost nothing after setup. Her biggest challenge was not selling in down years. And that takes discipline. And that's why the real question isn't just which path made more money. It's what you'll actually stick with for 20 years.
And that's the real Larry's Ladder lesson here. Most people think investing is about picking the perfect strategy. But over 20 years, behavior usually matters more than optimization. So before you decide which path is right for you, answer this one question honestly. Can you watch your investment lose 30% of its value on paper and not touch it? If yes, the index fund path may fit your personality better. But if the thought of that makes you genuinely sick, if you need something tangible, something you can see and control, real estate may be where your discipline holds up better. Some people look at the extra $200,000 and think, worth it. Others look at everything Ryan had to carry for 20 years and think, absolutely not. Because the best investment strategy isn't the one that looks smartest in a spreadsheet. It's the one you'll actually stick with when life gets difficult. And in the economy we're navigating right now, with job markets shifting, AI reshaping industries, and financial uncertainty at a level most people haven't seen in their working lives, the ability to stay calm and stay invested is worth more than trying to pick the perfect investment. Instead, pick the path that's right for you, and then stick with it. If this video helped you think through this decision differently, hit like and subscribe. I break down real financial scenarios like this every week. And drop a comment below.
Which path would you choose, and why? I actually read the comments. And check the description for your free gift. It's the real estate versus stocks comparison sheet I built for this video. It includes the exact numbers and assumptions we used today. Download it and keep it. And if you want to go deeper on building wealth with index funds, watch my video on investing for beginners. And remember, if this electrician can do it, so can you.